Hello, everybody. Welcome to In the Round with Taylor Tafolla. I am your host with the most, and if you come late for breakfast, you will not get toast, Taylor Tafolla. With me, as always, my co-host, Anna Duchi. And, oh my gosh, guys, this is different than our usual setup. We made it. We're in New York City with the one, the only, Mr. Taylor Peckham.
What if I grabbed that?
You can grab it.
I was ready. I didn't see it until I saw it in the tiny little... and I put my hand up, and then I went, oh, it's time.
Let's go.
Stranger things have happened.
And we're going to talk about that tonight.
Yes, you will. We're going to name names and give out phone numbers. Check the bottom of your screen.
Right here.
That's right. There's going to be a lot of... That's Anna's phone number. Give her a call.
And that's Anna's home phone number.
Thomas's... That's me, Thomas.
Thomas.
Yeah,
Thomas Peckham.
Mm-hmm. Does anybody call you Taylor?
Always.
Really?
All the time.
Because I get Tyler more than Taylor.
Really?
I get Tyler 90% of the time.
Hey, if you're a Taylor or a Tyler, comment below. What have you been called throughout your life? It doesn't have to be those.
That's true. Also, you can go ahead and call. There's a number right there.
Taylor, we want to have you come on because as we, we interview people who have been a part of the arts. Part of the creative
I've seen it. I've seen the interviews. I don't mean to cut you off, and I will.
You can go.
I've seen the interviews.
Yeah.
I'm honored to be here. It's very exciting to be in the round. You
Well,
guys can't see it, but there are cameras everywhere.
We're only gonna
We're sitting in the round.
Yeah.
We're gonna cut right now to that one. Hi, you guys. 360 creative staging. Marianne Elliott is at the helm, and oh my God, there's neon everywhere. And now we're gonna go to that one.
There's an
hey, no, yeah,
yeah.
Okay, no, but
Nice.
I was saying I was watching other episodes.
Yeah.
I was watching other episodes.
You're a fan?
Sean Condy.
Yeah.
I'm the fan.
This guy.
Sean Condy,
This guy.
Bobby Albright, Bethany Slomka,
Yeah.
everybody. Was there more than that? Because I watched those. So, but the thing that I want to know, verb energy. How much money are you making?
That's a great
And where are the bars? Where are they? I gotta try one. I gotta have one.
That's a great question that I wish we knew as well.
Oh, man.
Yeah. You can check it out on the commercial right now. Can you imagine?
And thanks.
Thank you.
What if we came back and it was like 7 feet tall?
And we're on that
verb.
camera.
Oh man, so many ideas.
Taylor, you've been involved in the arts for a few years now. You're a very humble person, and you're not one to brag about your endeavors.
I'm the best at it, really.
What got you, involved in the arts at a young age? You start there.
Let's start here, people at home. And people here. I know. I'm going to look at you in the camera. I have been involved in music, and what's embarrassing is in the other room. We're at a satellite location, undisclosed.
Yeah.
Undisclosed. Don't look for us.
It isn't New York,
but in the other
it's close.
In the other room, they're currently listening to all the songs I've ever written. It's so embarrassing. I told them to. So I met Tyler a while ago. I don't want to talk to the camera.
That's fine.
I met you a long time ago. And did we meet, were we friends before you were the Artful Dodger?
I love that's the one. That's the go-to one.
Because that's got to be it.
It was Artful Dodger,
Yeah.
and guess who? Comment below.
Okay, here's a funny story about that. So, I love this story.
Yeah.
There are 2 standout stories from that experience. The Artful Dodger is from the musicalized version of Charles Dickens. What's his title for it? Oliver Twist.
Oliver Twist.
And
then
it's
the
called
musical.
Oliver. The musical
Oliver.
is called Oliver.
Exclamation point.
You gotta project.
Oliver!
And the title's gonna do it for you. So I was a character called Fagin.
Mm-hmm.
And he was a character called the Artful Dodger.
Mm.
And what were you again?
That's
fair. First of all, that's fair.
She was that one that goes, any milk today? Yeah, I just bounced right back into it. Yeah.
Did you know he could do that?
They only see from the waist up in the show, so my legs are doing this during all my interviews.
Was
I don't
that
know.
Shorts today.
I'm not wearing shorts today. There was a day I was wearing full-on shorts and I put my leg up like this, and you could just see the bare knee, and it looked like I was not wearing pants. So.
So the two stories from the musical Oliver Twist called Oliver are. Number one, there was a big thing in youth theater where like the announcement of who's playing who is life cannot continue until you know.
Oh, like when the cast list comes out?
Oh, yeah. And there were lots of ways that people decided they were going to make these announcements.
Okay.
And they got more and weird and whatever. So, the way that the team doing this show decided that they were going to tell everybody, at least maybe the couple principal characters.
Fab Four.
Sure.
Oliver.
The way that they decided they were going to tell the characters who was playing which characters was that they were going to text the actors and let them know.
Oh no.
So
I know where this is going.
here's how this goes. I'm gonna get ahead of you a little bit and remind you that my character's name is Fagin. And how you spell that is Fagin. What they decided to do was they were going to have two members of the team just text the name of the character to me. One thing is where they decided to split up the character's name. The other thing is I didn't have their phone numbers. Either of them. I never got the second half.
Oh, no.
So this is a true story. This is how I found out that I was playing a character called Fagin at 17 years old when I was self-conscious enough.
Yeah.
But I just got at like 9:30 p.m. from a number I did not have.
Oh, no.
Just in all capital letters, F-A-G.
See? Yeah.
Just to my cell phone.
Oh.
And I just got it and I just went, well. I ended up seeing the team the next day or in the morning or something. And they said, so, did you like how you found out? And I went, I didn't like any. Found out what?
What are you talking about?
First of all. Anyway, so that was the first story for that show. The
Yeah.
second one was the costume that I ended up wearing for the character of Fagin, that we all now know how to spell. I was then, a part of the character was that he was old and he had a big beard. So both of those things needed to put onto me. And there was a great makeup mom. So she was painting a lot of things and it took a long time. So sometimes in the morning, like when we would perform for school day kids, I would fall asleep.
Yeah.
When she was putting makeup on. She was like, who cares? Whatever.
I think you'll be fine.
Because it took like 45 minutes to do the whole thing. It was a whole thing. So, I'm asleep. One of the, in the program, they would have intern directors.
Mm-hmm.
And one of these intern directors, this guy finds me asleep, just laying on the wall, getting painted up. And he wakes me up. And again, this is at like 8:45 a.m. So already
doing great.
Leave me alone.
Yeah.
So he comes along and he wakes me up and he says, I've been meaning to ask you. That's the first thing. I'm like, I've been meaning to ask you.
Not even like a hey.
I've been meaning to ask you. It must get hot up there. First of all, you need to remember what a question is. It must get hot up there. And I go, oh yeah, you mean under the lights? And he goes, no. In that bat suit they make you wear. And I go,
oh my god.
what? And this actually happened. Can I touch you? Is that okay?
Yeah.
You're me. I'm
Okay.
him. He literally goes, oh, that's all you, isn't it?
Oh my god.
That's all you. Isn't it? It's a true story. So those were the two fun stories about when we
So
first
that's your
got to know
career in
each
the
other.
arts.
Yes. So that was. I feel like that's when we first met. Not net, but like got to know each other.
I mean, I was right next to you during all those experiences, so.
Yeah. Were you really? Did you see that?
I must have.
You must have.
I was around.
That's gotta be it.
I was in the round.
All
comes back.
We'll be right back. I remember the first time we met, which was at your engagement party.
Okay, yeah.
And what's so funny is whenever I see anybody in the circle of like theater history that I don't recognize,
you're like,
I assume this is a lot for them. I assume
they're coming in blind.
Yeah, you like take a break whenever you need it.
Yeah.
That's what I assume. So
get a drink, go to the bathroom, call your mom. Yeah.
Exactly. So and I was like, oh yeah, how do you know everybody? And she was like, oh, I work with them at SeaWorld the whole time. And I go, okay.
You're all right.
I understand.
No, you'll be okay.
So I almost want to hear the whole story of how you got to know everybody, but maybe we can save that for the end.
Yeah. We'll get there.
Yeah.
Her first impressions of you will be next.
Yeah. Text it to me in many segments, all caps.
Yeah.
3 letters.
At a time.
Oh my god.
So anyway, let me truncate as much as possible. So I did youth theater until senior year of high school, when I switched from being on stage to playing piano for shows, which was so much fun.
Which maybe we'll preface too, like, this guy, like from the age of 10 was already like, you were doing the thing. You were already really good.
Well, I would figure out the songs at home.
Yeah.
Like I had a little keyboard in my room that my parents got me. Thanks, Mom and Dad. And I would listen to the songs that we did in the shows, and I would go home and figure out how to play them.
Yeah.
Ish.
Mm-hmm. Enough.
Enough. To where the first show I did was a very racially insensitive version of Aladdin. In all ways. But there was a song at the beginning called At the Bazaar, and I was 11 or 12, and I was a guard. At the
ballet. Different.
They wish.
Similar.
They wish. And after we had rehearsed it during the day, I went home and I kind of figured out how to play it. Mm-hmm. And a couple days later, or like the next week or something, the piano player, for the actual piano player for the show,
the accompanist for the show,
just didn't show up at one of the rehearsals. They're just like, it's time, and there's nobody. Yeah, seriously, he did, and he would do it again. Anyway, and this is how audacious. This is how big of an ego I had at 12. They were like, well, I guess we can't really rehearse unless, there's somebody who can play it. And I was like, oh yeah, I can do that. And they're like, I don't know you, first of all. And it was luckily the song that I went home and figured out how to play. And so it was just
he gets on, it sounds better than the guy that they hired.
It was just the one song. There are lots of people love to tell the story that I took over for the piano player. I didn't.
And they paid you a lot of money.
That's right.
At 10.
That's right. I still have it.
Yeah. In a little box.
That's right.
So anyway, Taylor's money. It's a ripped out lined piece of paper that says Taylor's money. Yeah. It's money.
Keep going.
Bitcoin. You gotta have it. It's really great. And it's Bitcoin. There we go.
See, I play.
See, I play.
So I was playing piano for shows. And I was lucky enough to get some interning jobs working at places like the Old Globe and La Jolla Playhouse. And what's great is that in jobs like that, a couple of the music directors who I was working for, they said they did not have to do this at all. But at some point during the thing, they said, hey, you play, right? And I was like, yeah. They go, I want to take a break. Come play for me. So I would play in the rehearsal room. Awesome. And that's how I started and ending up working at the Old Globe and playing piano there and working on some shows there, which was so much fun. And then I got to work on a couple shows at the La Jolla Playhouse, one of which was a musicalized version of an album by a band called the Flaming Lips.
I saw it.
Did you see it?
Yeah,
Oh.
Yoshimi. That was the girl.
It was so much fun. 2012. It was a musicalized version of their album called Yoshimi Battles the Pink Robots.
Yeah.
And it was about this gal Yoshimi who ended up getting cancer, and the robots ended up being a metaphor for her cancer cells. And it was a whole thing that was basically like a really cool, hyper-realistic and very kind of acid trippy fight with cancer. Yeah. So it was all these different battles with the cells and the robots in like different shapes, and it was super cool. And the music is awesome, and go check it out.
That's the one. That's all I know.
Verve is gonna have to cut you a big check to play that song in the
Verve energy.
So I did that show, and that show was the same team that did a different show called Jersey Boys, which is sort of Frankie Valli and the Four Seasons.
Yeah.
And so a couple years after that, I got a call asking me if I wanted to go on the road with that, and I said yes. And so I went on tour from 2014 to middle of 2017, and then I came back to San Diego, and the same team was doing a different show at the La Jolla Playhouse, which I got to be a part of, about Donna Summer, the disco star. And so we did that show, and then we did that show, and then in 2018 that went to New York and went to Broadway, and I went with it, and I moved to New York in 2018, and then I was there 2018 through the end of 2020, so almost 3 years I was out there, and then I moved back here at the beginning of this year of 2021.
It's awesome.
And now I'm very, very excited to be back here.
We're good to have you back.
Yeah, it's the best, and we'll be right back after this. Do you realize? What is? That's a good song.
Taylor is one of those people who just, you can give him like 10 seconds of a song and he's already, learned how to play it pretty good, I would say.
Did you not hear me earlier? I'm gonna break that. That thing is gonna be in pieces.
What's your top 5 favorite artists all time?
Ooh, I inherited a lot of music love from my parents.
Yeah.
Scott and Amy.
Love them.
From Mom, we got a lot of. The 70s was their era, because that's like when they were teenagers and going to college and doing all that.
Disco.
And not so much. A little more like Laurel Canyon, singer-songwriter-y.
Yeah.
Lots of James Taylor, lots of Van Morrison, lots of that kind of stuff. But my dad's all-time favorite band is Steely Dan.
Yeah.
And so I inherited that love, and so
Sweet
I just
Rosalie.
have such a... Why did you pick that song? I have a huge love for Steely Dan and for the two guys who were Steely Dan.
Yeah.
Donald Fagen, especially, the keyboard player, who Nick Kroll... Did you guys ever see Oh Hello?
Yes, on Netflix I did.
It's Nick Kroll's character calls Donald Fagen the Jewish Ray Charles, and he's not wrong. He's not wrong. But I have such a love, especially for a couple jazz piano players. A current guy who I really love, who's really popular, is named Corey Henry. He used to play with a band called Snarky Puppy, which is really awesome. It's like
you gotta look that up.
Music for musicians is what my friend Brian calls it. And some people love that and some people don't. And I love it, but I don't know if I would want to go see one of their shows live just because the crowd would be detestable. They would be so annoying. They would know all the bass solo lines and they would sing and they would shout
sing
out.
The bass solo line.
Which they do. That's a little too much for me.
Yeah.
So, I like that kind of stuff. And I also like weird stuff. I love experimental kind of, what is that kind of, what are you doing? And there was a tune, I forget who did it, but it was an entire album just of this weird trancey kind of, but it was very beautiful.
Yeah.
All these old synths kind of are arpeggiating and doing all these weird things, and it was awesome. The track was like 19 minutes, and I tried to listen to the rest of the album and I couldn't get through it, but the one track that I found was awesome. I loved it.
Is there have you, even if you have already, is there an artist or a musician that if you went there to see, their concert, is there, a go-to, you're I have to see this before I die? Or
living or dead?
Oh, I guess living, but we can also do dead after.
Oh, man. Okay, I was lucky enough to see Steely Dan a couple times.
Nice.
Once with my dad, which was so fun because that was the first time I ever saw my dad like be a younger version of himself.
Oh yeah.
Like he was
That's
shouting out requests and like, yeah, I love this song. And talking like, I love that. That was so much fun. But if I could pick a dead person, I would pick probably my favorite jazz piano player, Oscar Peterson. And I would want to see him in like a tiny little club, like just him and a trio, and I just want to feel it. There's this little club in New York called Smalls.
Yeah.
And it's exactly as it sounds. It's this tiny little thing in the basement, and they've got mirrors set up so you can see the players because you can't see over people. Like it's so small and cramped. And I've seen a couple friends play there, and you feel the room. Like you feel the music. And so I would want to see him in a club like that, and I just would want to just save it in my brain forever.
Did you say you took piano lessons like as a kid growing up?
I did for a little while.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was like 6 to 8,
okay.
7 to 9, one of those.
You take any other instruments?
4th grade, I played the clarinet.
Hey.
But only for that year because my band teacher, who is somebody that I would come to meet again later in life, which I'm not going to reveal.
Oh no.
Because you'll hear the story.
Yeah.
So he texted me the name of my character no, I'm kidding. I was in 4th grade, which you're however old you are in 4th grade, I forget, maybe 8 or 9 or something. And I was, at the end of the year, there was this concert that we were going to do as a band, 4th grade band. And I basically told him, like, hey, my family's going out of town. I don't think I can make the concert. And he, like, I don't know what was going on in his life, but he let me know that he thought that was a terrible, and I was being irresponsible, and I didn't care about my other bandmates.
In 4th grade?
4th grade.
Oh my God.
And that blah blah blah. And you're a disgrace to the thing, and I can't believe you would shoot blah 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 blah. Like the whole thing. So that was the only year I played the clarinet. I swiftly quit.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yes.
Got
Yeah,
it.
I'm in the middle of learning the bass right now, which is really fun.
Nice.
Jared, a friend of mine, gave me his bass to kind of learn a little bit on, which has been so much fun.
Amazing.
I also have played the drums. Oddly enough, I played the drums. Get this. So I played the drums in 2011 for a show with a company called the Broadway Dreams Foundation, BDF. They do great stuff. And that summer we had too many music directors, and we were all piano players. And so we got to do this show at the end where, Titus Burgess and Eden Espinosa and all these people were singing. Andrew McCardle, the original Annie, was singing.
Awesome.
And so at the end they were like, we need more people in this band, but we can't hire anybody because our budget is maxed out. Can any of you guys play any other instruments? And I was like, for theater tunes, I can play the drums. No problem. They were like, we just need... Because it was like, they were doing America, from West Side Story, and they were doing stuff that you didn't need to be a great drummer to play. You just had to know how the music went. So I was like, exactly. So I was like, I'll play the drums, whatever. Hello, welcome everybody. Welcome. This is how this works.
Yeah.
Did you see it?
Look at that.
Again. Different note. Didn't change.
Incredible.
I know.
Incredible. Let's see.
What about? I really can't stay. No, not that song. Can you imagine?
And in that key.
Yeah.
Totally.
What about? Sleigh bells ring. Are you listening?
Hey.
In the lane. Snow is glistening. Sing along at home. Beautiful sight. We're happy tonight. Walking in a winter wonderland.
Take away, Anna. She's like, nope.
No? Alright, that's the end. That's it. Thank you.
Beautiful.
Thank you
job.
very much. Yes,
Yeah.
this is a double, and I get paid triple the rate to play that. So.
Yeah, I got it right. You're Taylor's money. But
That's on the box.
Yeah. Oh, my shirt. John's annual lip sync. Boom. Product placement. Right there. If you can hear my voice, it's because I'm allergic to cats. And we're in a cat room.
If you could hear my voice, all I pictured was flashbacks to like a kids camp.
If you can hear my voice, clap 5 times.
If you can hear my voice.
If you can hear my voice, I'm allergic to cats.
Hear my voice.
Commit to it. That was something me and my friend Delon used to do. Delon, who now is in Come From Away on Broadway. And he and I, whenever we were in the same room, and we weren't talking about anything, we would just pick a time to just hum a note at the same time. Like, we would just look at each other and just go... and then whatever we were doing, we would never match, because it was out of nowhere. And then we would just move down a little bit.
You want to try that?
That was it. Of course I do. No, you gotta commit. You gotta pick a note and just do it. Doesn't matter if the cats. Okay. It doesn't matter if the cats get you.
Okay.
It doesn't matter.
Okay.
Exactly. No, there was one time where when we were on the road, I met him doing Jersey Boys.
Yeah.
And there was one time when we were on the road, and when you do a lot of these 1 weeker cities, you get kind of in just a like, I don't care where I am, I just gotta do my job and go home. and so we were at some little town like Madison, Wisconsin or something. No offense. And
no offense to the good people in Madison.
And we were in the theater, but we were at like sometimes the theater would throw you a little party, you know.
Oh yeah.
On whenever you opened in the whenever you opened in the city, and so we were in the bathroom, and actually we were at the urinals, and we decided to do that. And we didn't say anything else. We didn't laugh about it. We just washed up and left. And there was some guy that was just going. See ya.
Incredible.
That's when we knew that it was the right thing to be doing. I pulled that joke on my friend Edward, who had just told me that he was gonna play Hamilton. Because it's the first things on the show.
Yeah.
And so we were at lunch, and I would like call over a waiter and be like, I've been meaning to ask you, how does a bastard orphan? He'd be like, I hate you so much.
Oh my gosh.
I did it like 8 times before the lunch was over, and it's a miracle he still talks to me.
What's your favorite, like, because you were on the Jersey Boys tour for a while.
I was.
What's your favorite tour story?
Oh man, there were so many.
Yeah.
There were so many. There was a good one. There were a lot of funny tour moments that didn't have anything to do with the fact that we were doing a show. It didn't have anything to do with it. Was purely just other things going on. So there was we got to Knoxville, Tennessee, which is where Dollywood is, if anyone got the Moderna vaccine.
Shout out to your girl.
That's right. And there's a thing on tour, it depends obviously on the contract that you're on, but the contract that we were on, they would have company housing options to where they would give you a discounted rate on a hotel if you wanted to book through the company management, or if you wanted to, they would give you a stipend and you could book different housing if you had friends that you could stay with, or if you wanted to do an Airbnb or something like this.
You wanted to live on the street for a couple days.
Which some people basically did, just to save some cash. Some cash. So in Knoxville, Tennessee, there were 2 hotel options, and most everybody picked one, and for some reason I picked the other one. It was me and like 2 other people. Okay. And there really was no reason why I picked it. It was like 4 months into the tour. I didn't know what was going on.
Nice or cool.
It's something. So we pull up to the hotel that I was going to stay at, and this thing looked kind of like the Rebel base in Empire Strikes Back. Like it was just this stone, angular thing. It wasn't covered in ice, but it looked like it could withstand anything. Like it was this huge. Like the walls were it was solid concrete, and I was like, this is weird. And so the first night we're there. Oh no. There's tornado warnings. I turn on the news, and there's stuff about like, you know, the Weather Channel people like, you know, doing all that, and I can't hear anything because I'm staying in the concrete bunker. I'm like, made the right call.
You're like, so on.
Y'all can suck it. So, I saw people staying in the other hotel, like posting photos of they got evacuated to a storm shelter in the basement, and they were all huddled up, and they were all like, it was insane. And meanwhile, I'm just like click, bye. So naturally, the next day,
pyramid, like
exactly the stone pyramid.
Yeah.
So naturally, the next day, I'm teasing everyone about this. I'm like, you guys, I didn't even know they wheeled in crab and everything. So I'm not even kidding. So I'm teasing everybody the next day. That night, the following night of the first night we got there. 3 a.m, an alarm goes off in our hotel. And I think, oh, now the tornado's gotten crazy. Please evacuate. Head down to the... And so we're all stumbling out, and we go down to the lobby, and we're all like, what? God. It must be an earthquake. It must be a fire. It must be a tornado. It must be something.
What time of the year was this?
I don't remember. It wasn't going to be...
Tornado season.
Yeah, probably the summer. Yeah. And so we get down to the lobby expecting to go to a storm shelter or whatever, and the hotel manager was like,
sorry, it was a mistake. Sorry, you can go back to your room.
So I was like, listen, I had never been a karma person. Now I am. No. Because that was it. That was absolutely it. Like, they get evacuated. I'm like, you guys suck. And then I get shoved out of bed at 3 a.m. just because I said that. Yeah, exactly.
Just to watch you squirm.
Yeah, that was a fun little tourist story. There was one where we canceled a show in Dallas because of tornadoes. Yeah. Wow. Yeah, we did. We were all eating in the little backstage area, waiting to hear, and they were like, "Yeah, we're canceling."
Was that like the gnarliest weather thing, like you had, or was there other?
There were some times in the winter where we would be driving to the next city, and this happened, unfortunately, more than once, to where we'd be on the bus, and a lot of people who haven't toured before misunderstand the difference between bus travel and airplane travel. They hear airplane travel and they think, oh, that means you're on the top. That means you're at full production.
First class. Yeah.
Exactly. That means, oh man, it's the best. Airplane travel is a pain in the arse because a 2-hour flight is a 9-hour day.
Yeah.
So a 2-hour bus ride is a 2-hour bus ride, and you get 2 seats, and you get an outlet, and you get just whatever. Anyway,
you spread out.
Anyway, exactly. Anyway, that was just on my tour. Not speaking for anybody else.
Yeah.
But we were in a winter travel day where it was very snowy, and we were on the bus, and our bus was going very slowly, and we could feel the bus being like, it was iffy, but we were still going. It was okay. But we passed one of our Jersey Boys trailers in a ditch.
Oh my God.
Like it had skidded off and was in the ditch next to the road.
Frankie!
And we had, when I first joined, it got less and less over the years because they were saving money. But when I first joined, it wasn't small. It was like 10 or 12 trailers. It was big. It was big.
Absolutely.
And so when you saw one in the ditch, we got to the town, wherever we were, like, I don't know, somewhere in Connecticut probably.
Sure.
And we got to the theater and they were like, well, as you can see, and half the set would not be there. They're like, the set isn't here yet, so we'll see if we can do it. And so they somehow pulled like an all-nighter and got it in just in time to where we got it up in time and we didn't have to cancel the show. But yeah, we passed a truck in a ditch twice. Yeah. And once was in Canada and the other time was in Connecticut.
Wow.
Yeah, that was... Winter is no joke, man.
Yeah.
Real winter is nuts.
Do you hate the snow now?
No, I don't hate it. It's just different than people who aren't in it.
Well, you prefer to live in, like, here. Exactly.
Yeah.
What was your favorite show you saw in New York or anywhere? Or one you appreciated?
One that there are two that I still think about.
Yeah.
Locally, there was, after it ran on Broadway, it kind of had a little bit of like a flop-ish on Broadway, but then they did kind of a West Coast tour of it, of a show called the Scottsboro Boys.
Love.
And they did a little run of it at the Old Globe, and that was right when I was doing my first show there. So I met all of them in rehearsal, and they were so nice and whatever, and then we got free tickets to go see it. And it was one of the most powerful, amazing, visceral.
Beautiful show.
I couldn't believe how much I loved it.
That
It was
score
just
is
so.
Epic.
Every part about it was so well put together and so well performed and so important and it was just I still think about how I felt watching that. I still think about it.
Kander and Neb's last one, right?
I think so.
Or just one of them.
Yeah.
Because the other one died.
Yeah.
So.
Because Kander's still around.
Kander's still around.
But it was the other one that I saw was in New York, and this was very unexpected. I don't know if you guys have ever had this before, to where you see something and you are very not prepared for it to really get you.
Yeah.
I was seeing a play on Broadway called The Wayfair Gallery.
Okay.
And this was a play that had Michael Cera in it and Elaine May, very very famously Elaine May, legend. Elaine May and Michael Nichols, of course, were a pair in the 60s, 70s.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, so it was this play about this old woman who was suffering through dementia and her family that was taking care of her.
Yeah.
And so she was living above this art gallery and kind of tending to the gallery, and it was about the people that came through the gallery, and then her daughter, who was kind of the main character of the play, was taking care of her mother and was struggling with the weight of all that.
Yeah.
And this happened to be right after my grandmother had just died from complications of dementia.
Yeah.
And my mother, her daughter, was going through exactly the same things as this woman in this play.
So just
I couldn't believe it. I was just sitting in my seat, just a wreck.
Yeah.
And then the end of the play is Lucas Hedges. You know that actor?
Yeah.
Lucas Hedges is in it, and he's playing the grandson of this old woman.
Oh my
and
gosh.
he, at the end of the play, leaves to go to college. And he gives this epilogue monologue to the audience about, like, I got out, I got to leave, but my mom stayed there till the end and saw it through and then did whatever. And I'm sitting in New York.
Oh my god.
When my mother and my grandmother are in San Diego.
Yeah.
Literally, it was like portraying the exact situation that I was in, and it just tore me
waterfall.
inside out. I couldn't believe it was so unexpected. So unexpected. I still think about it. It was so powerful, and just it was so important to me specifically, because I saw it with a friend of mine who definitely didn't have all of those experiences.
Sure, they didn't have.
But he was still thinking about how beautiful the story was, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But I had just a very particular kind of reaction and experience with
There's an emotional connection to it. Piece.
Oh yeah, it was the same guy who wrote Manchester by the Sea.
Oh okay.
You ever see that movie?
Yeah.
It was the same guy who wrote that, Kenneth Lonergan or somebody.
Yeah.
But it was it was just so important. Yeah, those two experiences I can still. It's like sense memory.
Yeah.
I still think about them. Yeah, all the time.
Is there a song that touches you like that just hits you every time?
Ooh, a song?
Yeah, whether from a show or a musician artist.
That's tough.
Mm-hmm.
That's a toughie.
Maybe not hits you that extreme, but hits you in a way.
No, I know what you mean. I just don't know if I can think of one.
Yeah.
There are, definitely. But I don't know.
Just
I don't
one of
know.
them.
Well, there are some that have nostalgic, like you think about when you heard them for the first time.
Yeah.
There are others that just have qualities that make you feel certain ways, like just their voice.
Yeah.
Just the instruments. And then there's another thing where the subject matter really gets you for some reason.
Uh-huh.
And there are examples of all three of those, for sure.
Yeah.
But I don't know. There was a story in the news about this old woman. I forget her name, and I apologize for not remembering her name, but I'll look it up later.
Yeah.
But she was like a lounge singer, like a female Tony Bennett kind of type.
Okay.
And she was big for a long time and was singing around the world or whatever, touring, whatever. And she was going to do her kind of farewell tour in 2020, and then obviously didn't.
Yeah.
And they were basically following up with her in 2021, seeing like, are you going to do it? Can you do it? She was in her 90s.
Yeah.
And
oh my gosh.
and they followed up with her, and you saw her singing in front of people and performing and just hearing her sing anything. It was just
Yeah.
Just this woman who was like, no, I'm going to keep doing my thing.
The weight of
This
years.
is for me. I know my
Yeah.
life is going on, but I need to be doing this. And she was sharing it with other people, which is amazing.
Yeah.
So it
It's
was
beautiful.
just, yeah. That was, and again, I'm sorry I can't be more specific, but
Oh, yeah.
I remember watching that story and just
Mhm.
being, yeah, who sums that up so well? It might have been Alan Menken,
Yeah.
who was talking about the idea that music does something that literally no other language, no other medium can do, which is say something without saying anything.
Yeah.
It's like such a nuance. It's such a specific connection. It's such a specific expression with everybody.
Mm-hmm.
And that's that.
Yeah. You know exactly how you feel once you hear it. It's
Oh yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
I
It was,
love Alan
it was
Menken.
amazing. It was
Yeah.
amazing.
Alan, if you're watching this,
Al.
Al, my guy, my bro,
Mm-hmm.
someday, you know, we'll get there.
You can't hear it, but I'm playing Part of Your World right now. That's a fun one. Hate it. Ooh.
Hey.
Oh, this is good.
Here we go.
Wait. Oh. I can only hit 2 notes at the same time.
All right, folks.
Wow.
This is a game. We're gonna come up with a song. Anna, you want to give us a name suggestion for our song?
I don't know.
Just a random word, maybe.
Xylophone.
Xylophone. I love that it's bird, duck, dog.
No idea.
Okay. Chilling out in the playground. I'm hanging all by myself.
On the
all
playground?
alone. What am I gonna do all by myself? I know I'm gonna whip out my xylophone. Saved it for my band practice. That's how I get more friends. That's how I'll make more friends at my new school. Until that ends and we gotta move to a new one. My dad is a traveling salesman.
So much exposition. I like it.
We change schools every month. His name is Professor Harold Hill.
Oh, yeah. Leave it. Let him think about it.
This is the key. Yeah.
Na marimba, na timba, na glockenspiel, but the xylophone. Not a steel drum, not a drum set, something else percussive. No, it's a xylophone.
It's like day in life or like Italian restaurant where there's like different.
That's the idea.
Yeah. Janice and I were doing pretty good, but then one day she said, there is something between us. I said, what do you think it could be? There's nothing between us. She said, David, it's you and that xylophone.
You and that xylophone. You and that xylophone. You and that marimba. It's not a marimba, you idiot. It's a xylophone. Solo.
Solo time. Dance solo.
You and that xylophone. And you own a xylophone.
You wanna be my friend?
It's a xylophone. 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 I don't know how to say.
And we're back. Oh, it's a xylophone. Oh, yeah. Hey, it's a xylophone. It's a xylophone. Break it over. Oh, xylophone. Wow.
Thanks for having me. Bye.
Bye. That was good. That was a good way to, guys. Thanks so much for joining us. We are In the Round with Tyler Tafolla. Follow us on Instagram at In the Round with Tyler Tafolla. Thank you so much, Jay, for being here. It's a xylophone. Bye. See you around.